6.3 is here! It's here today. Start of the new year. Continuation of the new arc. Maybe arc. I feel like this is all building to an arc. I don't know about everybody else. Of course, they could use this as a little diversion side story. It's not like we even necessarily need to have some other kind of sweeping thing like Heidel and Zodiac. But I do think that having some bigger thing that everything builds to, especially in MMOs, it's got to be a huge hassle to deal with from a storytelling and like writing sort of standpoint, but from the actual player experience, I do think that it creates a sense of continuity and building momentum in the world that keeps you in it, right? It's not just any one expansion and you can take or leave the others. It's the whole journey, the whole story, the whole narrative. So I don't know if we're going to see a massive arc, but either way, I am so in it for what we are currently in. I'm so ready. And I actually also, before I even started today, got my portrait sorted. Because they did make it, I'm so excited, so that your portraits show up now in instanced content. So in all of the like instanced content, it'll pop up. I don't know if it'll pop up when we do the new dungeon with Trust. I doubt it, because my guess would be that it would be only if you do it with like players. But they do. They pop up now at the start of duties. If you're an alliance, they pop up just your alliance, not all the 24 people that are in it. And then if you have it turned on as well, at the end, they'll show up. The portraits will show up alongside your commendations. They are really finicky, so make sure that you have the exact glam updated, affixed to the job, shortcut, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you all know this by now. Hopefully they keep sorting that out. But you can even get more customization options for your frames and things like that for the portraits if you do some PvP, which is worth it. Although I'm not going to think about it because I got so close. I got so close to getting my beautiful dragon and then was like 1.5 ranks short. I've been so busy. It's fine. Filter will come back again, I believe, someday. I can't believe otherwise. But set that up, get yourselves your look so on point and your portrait so on point so that other people can see how on point you are. But now we're gonna go ahead and point ourselves to the quest and we're gonna get started on this and we're gonna play through 6.3. And it's my intention this time to not let my own innate nature of not wanting to finish things keep me from doing like the literal last 2 quests of the patch. We'll play through the whole thing. And it's gonna be okay, and we'll have lots to look forward to. A lot of other things to also look forward to as well. And if you haven't yet, if you've been enjoying the playthroughs or the other content that we have here on YouTube, where I have big feelings about MMORPGs, including everything from story, lore, narrative, and more, please feel free to like and subscribe here, or you can catch me live on Twitch, usually 2 to 3 days a week on twitch.tv Rookery, where I will be playing through a bunch of the new content, including the 24-man. Praise Helone, she goes step on me. And you can also find me on 2 podcasts every week. Aetherite Radio for Final Fantasy XIV on Saturdays over on twitch.tv Gamerscape, and the Lightbringers podcast for Guild Wars 2 on Fridays over on twitch.tv Jebro Unity. So find us, tune in, leave a comment, say hey, come by while we're live. I would love to hear about your own journeys in the game, and I'm really excited to get to share my journeys with you here in 6.3. So, without further ado, get me back in there so I can kiss Zero. My eyes also brighten at your arrival, Varshan.
Ah, Arden. As always, your timing is most fortuitous. I wish to share with you news concerning Zero. You will recall that, in exchange for ether, she agreed to aid us in our search for my sister. At Ishtola's suggestion, I began providing said ether in the form of food. Zero has found the arrangement to be agreeable and has been eating steadily. In large part due to that, she claims to have already made a full recovery. If you and the others are ready as well, I would set forth for the Void once more. Excellent. I shall inform Ishtola and Estinian, and then go to collect my other vessel from the alchemists. My Hattie McHottentots form. My wearing a crop top and rocking it form. In the meantime, might I ask you to fetch Zero? She was absent when I visited her chambers earlier, but I suspect you will find her in the corridor connecting Rouge and Kama. It seems she's grown partial to the view of the city it affords. Once we have attended to our respected tasks, let us gather here. Okie dokie. Gonna go see Zero. Gonna go see Zero again. Gonna go see my girlfriend, who might also be me. Let's get more convoluted then. My girlfriend, who might also be Crystal Mom, who might also be who I want to be. And let's just go ahead and go straight to my new girlfriend, who might just be me. Self-love is important. Now, oh, I see. We have to actually go to the city. We got to go to the... Okay, all right. We'll go down here. I mean, we're already in the city. We don't have to go to the city, but we do need to go to a different part of the city. So let's get our butts over there. Okay. Now, I did make some promises to Yoshi B because of some server stability issues that were happening in the previous 6.2 installments, and I cannot guarantee that I will hold to those. So let's hope that the game holds instead, and that I can still be as much of a hot mess of a human being as I always am. So you know, it's my innate nature, and I cannot be rid of it. What? I wondered if it might actually be up on the walk, but it showed on the map as being... I swear it showed on the map as being down. But I think it showed on the map as being down because Megaduta is one of the highest points of the entire city. Dang it. You got me again, Final Fantasy map. Okay, we will instead... I think I can, like, maybe... There she is! You can see her from down here! Hold on! Look, she's right there! Oh my gosh. That's amazing. You can tell because of her imposing scythe. Okay. Sorry, that was really exciting. I did not expect them to make it so that you could see her from that far away. I think we need to go to Kama, right? It's the one that connects the residential Kama ward. And yeah. And then we'll go this way. Hi, Zero! I just saw you down there, but now I'm up here. I can't wait to hear about how she's been like in the city, if she can taste apples. I just have a lot of questions.
Everyone is so carefree. Unafraid and unconcerned in spite of their weakness, and how easily their lives could be torn apart in an instant.
Well, you should have seen them half a patch cycle ago, because that was very heavily on their minds at that point. Yeah.
Such luxury is a loss to us. We have no hopes or dreams, and even the release of death. Only hunger.
There's more to
Others
life
are a
than
means
that.
to an end. At times, a literal one.
Oh, that's a good line.
We forge covenants with men and come here to feed. Or to die.
I mean, honestly, though, you can see why the Voidsent are so desperate to be here, even if they don't realize maybe what that desperation, like where it comes from. I mean, of course, they want to escape and or survive, and they have this hunger that drives them, and this is a world that's full of it, but I can't help but feel as though there is some part of them as well that, I don't want to say mourns for what is lost, because that might be a little heavy-handed, but you know what I mean? There has to be almost an echo of the people they once were somewhere within their being. Like how we see with Zero. It's there, I know it's there, I believe.
I thought it would be no different when I was summoned by Xenos. Lives were tools to him, to be used and discarded at whim. In that respect, he was a Voidsent at heart.
Correct.
But towards you, and you alone, he behaved differently. And I cannot fathom why.
If they were gonna ever make me like Xenos, they would probably make me like Xenos retroactively through a character that I love with a burning passion. Don't think I don't see what you're doing, Final Fantasy. Don't think. And will I fall for it? Probably. Probably I will. Because you make me cry all the time in this game. And you make me feel all kinds of things. So maybe I will. And maybe this will be the thing that makes me, like, I can't even say it. I'm not gonna even say it. But maybe.
What was it that drove him? What made him choose such an end?
Maybe it's like what you're dancing around. That this
But
was
enough
the
about
one
that
end he
man.
thought was worth it.
He is dead and we are all better for it.
Agreed. Agreed, Zero. Enough about that man. He's dead, and we're all better for it. And I'm gonna go process these feelings that I'm having after I finish recording this about the parallels between the Voidsent and him, and why Zero and he might have had, like, some kind of affinity for one another, and how tragic that is. I'm gonna deal with that. But I'm gonna deal with it off stream, and then and off of broadcast, and off of recording. And then I'm gonna never admit it, except I probably will because I can't keep anything from any of you. So, also, can I just say that I'm really loving right now how the outfits almost, like, they're great, like, reflections, like the all red and the all black, and like the black and blue in Zero's hair, and the like white gray kind of elements with Arden. And if they are shards, I'm just, and the like the hat shapes, if they are shards, I'm just saying that this is giving me great joy, and I'm ready for it, embracing it.
Why are you here? Was there something you needed?
I see your beautiful face. I'm sorry. I wanted to see your beautiful face.
So you're heading back now?
Oh, and then I'm heading back.
Then as per our bargain, I will go as well.
Okay. Also, she's got like the little bits of purple in her outfit, like the black and purple silver. And Arden's got the purple eyes. You know what? It's fine. I think we all... What are some of the things that you have done in game to give yourself small joys? I think we've all done that, right? Whether you're somebody who invests really deeply in headcanons, or you're just somebody who, I don't know, you really like the way your character looks in something, or you really like... I go deep into headcanon land. That's my thing. So I try to find characters and things like that that looking at them brings me great joy, and I make them that way. And then I set up all of my little elaborate headcanon dominoes. And I'm like, but this hat shape and her hat shape are kind of similar. When I look at us, you know, I get a similar sense. And maybe we are shards and maybe we're not. But for right now, I'm dancing around this and I'm loving it. Okay, so we're heading back to the Void, which means, okay, we are going to stop back by Megaduta. But I'll do things like that. I also found recently great joy in my Jungle Explorer outfit for Island Sanctuary. I put together a whole look, and I think it was very cute. And I had like one of the little monkey companions, and I would put him on anytime, one of the little monkey minions. And that gave me great joy. It gave me good brain tinglies. Whenever I'd go on the island, I'd put my clothes on, my island clothes, I'd get my little uppo, and then I'd go. And it was so good. And I had so much fun with that. Good brain tinglies for days on it, honestly.
I've been at the great work, discussing our experiences in the Void with the alchemists. Though they found much of it surprising, they were especially shocked to learn that darkness prevents souls from finding rest.
Okay, now hold up. Maybe that's what Golbez's mission is. Immortality. And so when he's talking about the respite of static, right, of the light, the staticness of light, perhaps those two forces, light and dark, do play a role in life and death, which, very interestingly enough, in the Thavna Your Lore Tour video that I did, talking about those greater cosmic forces, also actually plays into that kind of symbolism and that idea, right? They're much bigger things than I can summarize here, and I tried to do the best that I could with my understanding and the help of many people who helped me understand some of the stuff with that. But the idea of like a greater cosmic peace, staticness in a sense, right? But a higher level beyond just our mortal, fleeting form, something that's more immutable, more eternal, versus the darkness element even in those mythologies that have to do, or in those philosophies, I guess, even, that have to do with like activity, fleeting things, temporary things, mortal life. So if they're going to lean even more into those aspects and draw even more into that kind of thing, I think it actually gives a nice additional context as to why light and dark almost fall outside of just the elemental wheel as we know, right? That there are these like smaller level elemental forces that are aspected umbral astral, but that light and dark, for being such a big thing, right? Light and dark almost are like a greater encompassing polarity that, you know, they're adding in this way that might have something to do with that, like whether or not your spirit can even be calm enough, I guess, to return to the greater cosmic consciousness or the greater eternal wellspring of life and then be reborn and start that cycle of activity and life again. That's cool. I love that. That's cool. I'm sorry. Okay. Immediately jumping into the tinfoil hat, aetherology, lore thoughts, but I'm glad I talked to Y'shtola there because that definitely, I'm sure they'll clarify again, but that definitely added some more context. If you're ready to get back to it, then so am I. Anytime I go to a load screen, I feel like I always look at everybody like,
everyone is here?
We're waiting together,
Good.
Okay.
Let us set forth for the void once more.
White hair
What is
squad,
it?
assemble! Oh? Is he going in big form to the void? What just happened? Why does he do a dragon yell?
He's calling.
Is he calling to his siblings? To let them know what's going on?
What is the meaning of this?
He didn't mean to do that?
Unless I'm mistaken, that was intended for one of your kin. Who?
It was for the briefest of moments, but I felt her. Azdaja. I thought
Is
she
this
was in
their
the void.
plan? Did they, like, consume a ton of her ether or something? Or, like, bring part of her here to try and lead them somewhere
As did
astray?
I. Yet the presence was unmistakable. Thus did I call out, only for it to fade and vanish.
Is this what's gonna take us to Garlemald? Like, they got through some of the portal stuff? I should just watch. I should just watch and
Perhaps
find
she
it out.
crossed
I
over
can't
to
help
the source,
myself,
then
though.
immediately turned back.
I do not know.
They didn't turn her into a Voidsent and then, like, make a Reaper thing with her, did they?
Could she have found a way home?
The how of it aside, if she was indeed in the source, there may be clues where she came through that could lead us back to her. Where exactly was it that you felt her presence?
Far to the north. That was all I could discern.
Oh my gosh.
The north, you say? Beyond the bounty? Garlemald?
Maybe this plays
As good
into
a place
the
to
Void,
start
like the
as any.
Voidsent Reaper lore. Like, we know, at least as a premise, right, why Reaper started in Garlemald, because, you know, Garlems don't have any innate magic of their own, so, although I think there's been a lot of jokes about farmers protecting their crops and or getting aggro, right, taking in this power and figuring out a way to wield Voidsent is supposedly a part of it, because then that gives them abilities that are closer on par with the magically gifted races, right? creating this pact, but we don't really know anything else about it. So maybe that art form also had something to do with a tear in that region where Voidsent, they were able to either acquire Voidsent for those pacts, or a tear formed because they were trying to do those pacts, or there was a natural wellspring of Voidsent, or I don't know.
My apologies, Zero, but your return to the Void will have to wait.
I told you before that I have no reason to go back there. Do as you will.
You will have a reason when you start remembering things.
All right. I presume you wish to stay here in Radzatan until we return.
That little hat tilt. When are we gonna get that as an emote?
You've kept me amply fed. I wouldn't be averse to helping you on your search.
I mean, I'd go, I guess.
If Azdaja was indeed here,
Ishtal was like, that
Voidsent
wasn't
may
very
have made the journey
voidy
as
of you.
Very well. We would welcome your company.
It's not a direct pact, which is interesting.
If it's decided, then I'll contact our associates in Garlemald. It's me. Still talking everyone's ears off, I trust?
Alisae and Alphino, the babies!
Understood. We'll see you there.
Now, those are like our
At the
little
rendezvous at
siblings.
Tertium. We'll need to teleport to make it there in time. Can you?
Oh, good question. They have void.
Aye.
They can void.
I know
portal.
it well from my time as an avatar.
Then it seems we're all set.
If there is nothing else, let us see to our final preparations.
I just realized I don't have like a cold weather glam set up, but our current red mage look, it looks warm. You know what I mean? There's the title, Gods Revel lands Tremble. I cannot wait for the 24-man. I am really, really, really excited about the story content, but I think this is one of the very few patches where I have been just as excited for the 24-man story and raid as I have for the actual MSQ that's coming. I mean, I've always enjoyed the Alliance raids, but it's so good this time around, and the lore has been so good, and the designs are amazing, and the music was a banger, and the fights were really, really, really great in 6.2. So I'm looking forward to being surprised and delighted yet again. And I wonder if they actually gave Menfina eyebrows for the full release. Not that you have to have eyebrows to be cute, but I think the girl could have used some eyebrows, you know? It might have something to do with some kind of symbolism. I'm not sure. All I know is that her face looks naked. Okay, let's see what everybody has to say. There's so many people here. Oh my gosh. There's so many people here. Let's see.
We have no reason to doubt Vitra. Let us depart for Garlemald as soon as possible. Sister, was it really you?
I'm like, who else? Is someone else in here? Estinian is there. There's Zero. There's Zero.
So that was a dragon's roar. Quite a trick imbuing one's voice with ether.
I love dragon lore. Draconic lore is the coolest.
By all accounts, Azdaja is Golbez's prisoner. Yet if she was in the source, it could be that she managed to escape from the void, if only for a fleeting moment. But that is mere conjecture. If we want the truth, then we must go and find it. Come, let's make for Tertium. Our friends are waiting.
Our friends. They're your family, and you know it, Estinian. Particularly Alphino. You know it. You know it. Or are they going to take us straight there? That'll be nice. I like that it seems as though they've started adding in more, not all, but more just, and then we will directly take you to the place we're telling you to go to. As opposed to pull open all your maps, go click on it. I mean, there's still plenty of that, but we have seen, I think, several more where it'll just automatically take us forward to that next point in the story, which genuinely I love. It really helps keep the flow more direct, I think.
People live in such places, do they? Not that I would presume to know of their preferences, but it seems uncomfortable.
He's got cold weather clothes on. Cute.
I thought to depart from Radzatan sooner, but Ishtola insisted I bring warmer clothes. This vessel does not feel cold as such, but she reminded me that so long as I am Varshan, it would be prudent not to appear overly conspicuous.
Everybody got their cold clothes on. I love it.
I trust you know the associates who will be joining us. Hopefully they have both been keeping well.
Do a little visit with everybody.
Any moment now.
Anytime. They'll be here.
It's good to see you again.
I know we just said goodbye to them, but I am so happy to see them again. Ah, they're still wearing twinsies outfits, huh?
And you. I was worried that the cold wouldn't agree with you, but you're both looking quite well.
You get used to it. It helps that there's no shortage of fuel and heaters like before.
Oh my gosh. Yep. That has to make
Glad
a
to
huge
hear
difference
it.
up here.
Have you been working in Garlemald all this time?
We have. Though the worst is behind them, the people still have a long road ahead. They've taken steps towards forming an interim government, but it will be some time before any large-scale reconstruction effort can be carried out in earnest.
Oh, it's nice to hear all of this.
Large-scale reconstruction? Restoration, perhaps?
So we'll keep doing what we can until they can finally stand on their own. A lot of Garleans wanted nothing to do with us, but they're starting to come round. Slowly, but surely.
Good, good. Aw, it's so good. I've heard some people say that they might feel, I guess, a little bit disappointed that we didn't just immediately launch into full-on new horizons, totally new stuff. Scions disbanded, leave them at that, don't see them, like, cut all ties, I guess, except for a select few, move forward. And I mean, I don't think anybody ever expected that we wouldn't still have a sense of continuity in the world, right? But I actually think they've struck a really good balance, personally. I feel as though these are really important characters, you know, and they have mattered to us for a very long time. And the disbanding still feels like that really was meant to be a bookend for the Scions. And I love that, and I think it's good, and I think we are ready for new adventures. But I also feel like just with 14 and the way it goes in its story and its narrative and our own connections as players, it's nice to have a sense of this big new thing and these new characters or characters that are being elevated, but to also still actually have some good wrap-up from the past expansion, like you get in patch cycles, as well as just learning a little bit more about like how these characters have been involved in doing what they're doing. And I feel like it frees it up for the next expansion so that they don't have to spend time in the expansion touching on that or doing that or putting in some token scene where you go visit everybody to hear about what's been happening. This feels like a good time to do it as we launch into stuff and wrap up some things like they normally do in these patch cycles. So I love this. I think it's great. And a lot of us are curious about what's going to happen with Garlemald moving forward. So
it sounds like quite the undertaking.
Indeed, it has not been easy. But we've been able to make progress thanks to the cooperation of like-minded souls. The allied nations continue to send supplies, which allow us to meet basic needs such as food and shelter. Meanwhile, Jullus and a number of soldiers have begun a restoration initiative.
Yay, good job,
with
Jullus.
more and more volunteers joining by the day.
They used the word restoration.
Like Alphino said, they've got a long road ahead of them. But we'll get there together, one step at a time.
Though you yourself helped them take one especially big step, didn't you? In vanquishing that blasphemy in the Tower of Babel?
Well, yeah, you know.
Thank you. I can only hope that your deed will help the people to find peace and closure.
But enough about events here. What brings you to us? And with new company, besides.
Look, we found a Voidsent!
This may take rather a long time to explain, but bear with me.
They're both like, we've been gone for what, 1 month? And this has all happened?
The 13th? After traveling to the edge of existence, I thought you'd keep your escapades closer to home for a while.
We joke about how, like they're our younger siblings, but I feel like Alisae definitely thinks she's like our mom. In some way. You know what I mean? That moment of like, you went to the 13th! Like, what? You're supposed to stay safe here. You almost died.
But I suppose there's no stopping you. Not that I'm one to talk, of course.
The heart of an adventurer cannot be denied.
You could have at least invited me, too. Surely there was room enough for me and Grahar in the Undersea Vault.
We'll invite you next time, but you had important stuff to do that's your own project. And something you wanted to do. Oh! Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. You can make it up to me on the next one. But on a more serious note, are we sure it's wise to keep Xenos' former avatar around?
She's not anything like him. She's wonderful and perfect and flawless and amazing.
I understand how you came to work together, but nevertheless...
You're right to be cautious. I'm a Voidsent, after all. But do not conflate me with Xenos. To recall my time in his service, it angers me.
Oh, I just love everything about Zero. Did any of you miss this? But I really do. I know Yoshi P said in an interview that he was nervous about Zero as a character because she was unlike many of the other female characters that they had done. And I'm over here on the other side like, good! Don't be more of this, please, more of this. You know, you need a huge range of types of people in any world, right? And I love so many of our other characters, but I love that Zero is... I mean, I said I was like, I get strong non-binary vibes, which I do for sure, but which is even backed by some of the lore and stuff, and the fact that she, you know, claims she's had a ton of different bodies and all sorts of different things. But I really do like that. I don't know, she's not super feminine in what is oftentimes like a conventional sense. I like that even her stance here, right? It seems more at the ready, battle-hardened, weight distribution equally in her center, that kind of closed-off pose, her outfit, the armor, the hat tilt. Like, so many of those things are oftentimes physicalizations that are given to any number of male characters or masculine characters in a game, but not as often given to feminine characters. And so I really like seeing that with her. Like, there's a great softness to her, but also I think this great strength, and I'm glad they did it. More of this Yoshi P, because I think people really did fall in love with her, and like there's a reason. Same way that the original design with Emmett, the original designer of Emmett was like, I did not make him for people to think this is hot. It's like, or even Lady D in Resident Evil where they're like, her? And we're all over here just like, her though. I'm gonna drink some more water. I'm so thirsty. Yeah. Sorry, can you all tell that I was a theater kid? Gotta act out the emotions as I feel them. Okay, let's keep going. But I really love that. And it came to mind because of her physicality, even in this scene, and how we see her like holding herself and things.
Is that so? I think we'll get along just fine, you and I.
Now that we are all caught up, to the matter at hand. As we were about to resume our search in the void, I felt the presence of my sister Azdaja in the source. Somewhere in the far north, perhaps even here in Garlemald. If you have seen or heard anything out of the ordinary, I must know.
Does something weird happen?
As a matter of fact, we may have. In recent days, we have had to contend with a surprising number of Voidsent. And not the lesser kind that occasionally manifest, but ones possessed of considerable power.
Maybe that little goofy slime that ran past was meant to be a bit of a foreshadowing of this. Of the invasion of our world, maybe, as it were.
You think they might have been summoned? By whom?
We're not sure. But as Jullus reminded us, practitioners of a certain traditional Garlean art rely upon Voidsent servants.
Reaper!
The very same I believe you have mastered.
Is that different if you haven't unlocked it yet? I love it! That's such a cool little detail. I did. That was my first melee maxed out this expansion.
While there are no known Reapers left in Garlemald, we can't rule out the possibility that some are working in secret.
I haven't yet worked out like a Voidsent, like the Voidsent that she has a pact with kind of headcanon for Arden. Do any of you have one? I guess because I don't imagine her to be like canonically a Reaper, right? But I do love those kinds of things.
To summon not one, but several powerful Voidsent is no small feat. But if Azdaja was indeed called from the void...
Then it is likely the same party is responsible. Alternatively, the etheric confluence at the Tower of Babel may have triggered an expansion of natural fissures one could use to cross over. But I think that improbable, if not impossible.
I trust you. You know, many ether things are good.
We must assume these events have indeed been orchestrated.
Well, summoned or no, we've been trying to track them to their origin. It's the mountains to the east, we think.
Can you guide us there?
We get some more kind of zone kind of things?
I would, but the terrain
Like
is
little
too
mini
difficult
zone?
to traverse on foot. Nor is flying an option due to the winds.
Go under!
Too much ground to cover in any case. Is there no way to narrow it down?
There is one place we thought to look first. An isolated village rumored to have once been home to a Reaper order.
Okay.
That would indeed
Meanwhile,
make an excellent
RP
start.
Reaper mains are
Though
like,
the question of how to get
what?
there
Say
remains.
what? What's its name? How do I? What's the lore behind it? A Reaper order?
Jullus may be of assistance. Let us return to Camp Broken Glass and consult him.
Interessant! I'm already super intrigued. Okay, oh, yeah, I just need to teleport there. I'm over here thinking like, can I use this to just teleport like in a city down to Camp Broken Glass? No. I wish you could though. I wish in zones you were able to just run up to an aetheryte, and then if you physically went to like your nearest aetheryte, you would be able to teleport for free to other aetherytes like in that map zone. It makes sense to me. Many other games that I know as well allow you, well, okay, at least one other game that I know as well allows you to do that. Like if you spend the time actually physically running to an aetheryte or a way shrine, as it is in ESO, it'll let you teleport for free anywhere off of that. But otherwise, if you want to just like teleport to somewhere, you know, and not be anywhere near your aetheryte or your way shrine, then you have to pay money for it, which I think is nice. But obviously they just like upped or adjusted. I guess they adjusted a lot of the rates for teleporting. So it seems like they are convinced that they should keep it in to help with like gil inflation and stuff, but I think they could do it and it would be nice.
Nothing appears to be out of the ordinary here at the camp. Let us see what we find at this village. I had tempered my hopes, but thanks to Alphinaud and Alisae, we might yet learn something of Azdaja.
I knew the twins wouldn't disappoint. Look at how far they've come! I still need to do the new duty dungeons, because I've loved getting to see that Heavensward journey, especially because that's where, like, Alphinaud and Estinian first meet. I love getting to see that carry through into the actual instances themselves. It's been really neat.
I expect it's been a while since you spoke with Jullus. He will be glad to see you.
Hi, buddy! He's a good character, Jullus. I thought he was gonna play, like, be a secret reveal of some kind of character, or, I mean, I was deep in it, you all know, from Shadowbringers, that maybe he would, you know, secretly rise up or be of the bloodline, or become, you know, whatever the next leader of Garlemald would be, but I think there's still a good shot that he does become one of the leading figures of Garlemald. Maybe, I don't know, I'm curious, maybe, well, I don't think they're going to return to, like, an emperor system, right? Garlemald has a history, which actually we talked about in my Garlemald video, but has a history of, like, the original Senate, which was much closer to more of a democratic, you know, election, and then a group of people that kind of led, that eventually got kind of warped with the rise of the Emperor and with all of Emmett Selk's stinky boy fiddling that happened, where he messed with everything. But I kind of could see Garlemald, I think, working that way, where they restore something more like a group. I think originally in Garlemald it was even a group of elders that led, but you know, here perhaps they might just elect a group of people, including those who represent voices of the empire itself and their imperial conquest in their various regions, if those countries, for whatever reason, I guess, wanted to stay connected to or under the umbrella because of their mixed populace and stuff like that. That'd be interesting. But I wonder if we will see some kind of figurehead step up to be the face, like many of our other city-states have, and if Jullus might be the face of that. That was my long roundabout thing. You know, we've got, like, we have our faces of many of the different city-states, so I could see Jullus playing that kind of role in the future, maybe.
Oh, Arden, what a welcome surprise. And I see you're traveling with a large crew as usual. Not to suggest that's an inconvenience for us. We'd be happy to share our supplies with you and your allies, should you require any. I think he had fantasy British accent.
We'll see.
Apologies if we interrupt you, Liz, but there is a matter we wish to discuss. We've just finished our routine briefing, so you come at a good time. Is this about the Voidsent? It is. From what I can discern, they're coming from the mountains to the east. Practitioners of the Reaper art once lived in that area, did they not? Yes. They had a village there in the Lapis Manolis caverns. The Scythe Wielders forged pacts with Voidsent and took to battle with the beings at their side. For a time, they played an invaluable role in our military, but the advent of Magitech saw them fall out of favor.
Oh, so much good Reaper lore, I love it!
And when some were unmasked as insurrectionists, the order was outlawed. The village is believed to be long abandoned. Speaking of their art, it seems you've picked it up. Who was it that taught you?
A hot gilf? Grandma?
Well, I suppose it's neither here nor there now. My sister has been taken captive by Voidsent. I sensed her presence in this land and have come in search of her. If Voidsent have been sighted here, then I believe there is a connection. We should like to investigate these caverns you mentioned, but Alphinaud tells us they are not easily reached. I'm afraid so. Deep snow and tumultuous winds rule out walking and flying. If you want to get anywhere, you're going to need a Magitech snowcraft. Alas, the last remaining functional one we had has broken down. Should still be over in Cerulean Engines where it was abandoned. Is there anyone who can fix it? Perhaps the former engineers at Tappa's Den?
And we get to see them again, that's nice.
Their duty included transporting ceruleum tanks to Uterna Platform G using snowcraft. I expect they had to maintain a few over the years. That's worth looking into, I'd say. In the course of delivering provisions, I've come to know the people there quite well. If they can help us, I'm sure they will. May I ask you to accompany her? Given the presence of Voidsent, it's best that we avoid traveling alone.
Always. I will always travel with my girl.
In the meantime, will you not tell me more about the mountain? I would like to learn as much as I can before commencing our search in earnest. Come with me. I'll introduce you to someone who's well versed in the local geography. Alisae, was it? I wish to speak with you.
In that case, why don't you come with us to Tappa's Den? We can chat on the way. Okay, no, okay. Sorry, I had a moment where I was like, did Reaper Xenos inflict some harm on Alisae that I was forgetting from Shadowbringers, in which Zero might feel compelled to apologize for some reason, a little show of humanity, and then I was like, I don't think so. It was mostly just the Garleans who imprisoned Alphino and Alisae themselves, right? But that faction, that was kind of independent, so.
I shall go and brief the contingent on the Voidsent issue, that they too may be prepared.
Who else we got here? Anybody else nearby that needs a little talking to? No, looks like everybody else went off their own way. Now, this might be silly, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Where is that? I think it's over here. This is where normally they had all like the meetings and stuff, so I was wondering if Varshan had joined in over here and was being told a little bit about what was going on. No, okay, I don't think so. Okay. All right, well, let's go that-a-ways. We need to head towards Monitoring Station G. And we'll head this direction. I love this extra Reaper lore. It's very nice to see, especially, I mean, of course you can do the actual Reaper quests, but I think one of the things that 14 has done really well over time and that I'd like to see them even keep expanding on is creating a sense of how these different jobs, classes, magical arts, all that kind of stuff, right? How they are actually, how they are a part of life, culture, martial tradition, in all sorts of different parts of the world. I mean, we've heard about Onmyoji now several times, as well as geomancy in the Far East. There are all these different areas, and I can only imagine that even with the different classes that we have, at least in our own headcanons, right? Those branch offs, right? You might start as an archer, but maybe you can become a bard. But in other places, maybe you are closer to a ranger, maybe like the tail feather hunters, or those sorts of areas where you know that people must use those weapons and those arts in a different way. Even regimented militia that we have in the game, right? Archers that serve in Ishgard, for example, are probably much different from what we imagine with bard. Speaking of which, 6.3 brought some really great little adjustments for Bard, including the fact that now, rather than just that one buff applying directly, is it Nature's Mini? Rather than that just applying to a tank and like giving increased healing, it now actually works almost like Monk, where it does increased healing for the whole party, which is so cool. I love it. Thank you. It was awesome, Yoshi P. Love it. I haven't actually experimented with the Paladin stuff yet, but we'll see on that. It's a pretty big change for them, so I don't know. But all that to say, I really like that there's a sense of the world having a diverse range of practitioners and practicing arts, and that with that, I mean, we've even seen with the characters and trust systems, like I was talking about in previous things, that there are unique class names and unique types of characters and how they've implemented various multi-disciplines to almost become something else. So, all that said, live your headcanon dreams, go for it, have fun, and it's nice to actually see some of that in the game too, with some of these like multifaceted areas of, you know, it keeps expanding, the way that they keep implementing how these might be used around the world.
If you want to eavesdrop, be my guest. It doesn't matter to me.
Don't mind if I do. Thank you.
What was it you wished to talk about?
Why do you help these people? What is it that you stand to gain?
I'm having flashbacks to the Omicron, the little bonus quest with Omega and the Alpha is cute.
You don't act on behalf of a higher power, nor are you bound by a contract. In spite of this, you help them. Why?
And there I thought it was something serious.
Alisae's like, I've taught a lot of people what feelings are at this point. Okay, yeah, no, I got you. Like, oh, I thought this was gonna be like, I don't know, you wanted to kill me or something. No, this is much easier.
I help them because I want to. Because it's the right thing to do.
But what do you stand to gain? You didn't answer the question.
Once you did things for no purpose other than to help. Once you did that 2-0, you just don't remember.
Didn't I? I followed my heart. What I got out of it came after. Was there anything else? If not, let's keep moving.
Alisae, that is not going to appease her. Mm-mm.
Right. To act not out of obligation or in pursuit of gain. To simply live. And they survive like this.
Thrive like this. Sometimes we barely sometimes we barely eke by. But oftentimes we have many things, many experiences very much worth living. I just looked at her face and I got emotional. It's like not even actually the game making me emotional, although all the setup is there. Maybe it's that at this point, eventually get to the point playing Final Fantasy XIV, where you start to know when things are being set up to just emotionally devastate you down the road. And you can feel the ghost of feelings yet to come. And you sit there and you look and you go, one day this moment will make my heart hurt so much. And I know it. I know it. And maybe that's what that little echo was for me. One day when Zero's been on a whole journey and knows what feelings are, then I'll come back to this moment and I'll be like, we should get back to it. But before we do, are you all right, Zero? Did I say something that confused or upset you?
No, I am simply trying to understand your perspective. If you wish to continue, I am ready and able.
Well, that's a relief. This isn't the sort of place you want to mull over things. It's not much farther to Tapper's Den. I doubt we'll have much trouble finding an engineer when we arrive, so let's speak with the first one we spot. This also has very strong kind of recollections of our initial journey across the ice in Endwalker, and oh, the horrible moment where you chase down that young woman and find them dead. Oh, so terrible, so terrible.
Because it's the right thing to do.
This is one of the engineers, I think. Wait, I know you! You're the one who roughed up the guards. After you left, your contingent friends came along. Our lives are a lot easier now, thanks to them. They understood our plight and offered to help, whether we wanted to stay here or return home. For that, we're truly grateful. We're grateful to you too, Alisae. The trip across the lake is hardly pleasant, but you make it all the same to bring us provisions. Oh, don't mention it. We're just glad that we can help. That said, we were actually hoping to ask a favor of you today.
We need a Magitech snowcraft repaired. The one abandoned in Cerulean Ingens. We were told you might be up to the task.
Oh, so you want to ride the mammoth? Or the mammoth, you say? That's what we took to calling the crafts on account of their size. As often as I use them on rigs, I know a thing or two about their maintenance. I'll see if I can get your mammoth roaring again. It's the least I can do to repay your kindness.
Wonderful. Please come back with us. Oh, please come with us back to Camp Broken Glass, and we'll take it from there. So far, so good. Let's be on our way.
Do they have any updated dialogue in here? I think they do!
As much as I'd like to return home, it wouldn't feel right without anything to show for all the time we've spent here. Which is why I think I'll stay just a little longer.
Looks like the bizarre goings-on have come to an end, including the attacks on them soldiers who'd all gone mad. It's hard for me to do that in that accent. I reckon it's high time we looked around the capital to see what we can salvage. Is any of this different? Okay, the chaos in the city. I think this is the same. I think that's probably the same. Maybe not though. Does Jarek have anything new? Now that it seems the world's not about to end after all, at least not anytime soon. More and more of us have decided to return to our homelands. I'm planning to be the last one to leave, like a captain staying with his ship, as the saying goes. Or was it sinking? In any case, I'm not going anywhere just yet. So they do, that's nice! I like that they're updating that. Maybe some of that even updated previously, given the kind of context of what had happened, but it makes sense that, like, if the MSQ is bringing you here, you know? It's like if it's bringing you here and you know that things have noticeably changed in this area, it makes sense to actually reflect that in some of the characters that, you know, you even had a little cameo moment with, like a little short moment with in the original expansion. So it's nice to see that they updated that. I mean, it would just be completely ridiculous to me if they went all out ham. I don't know how they would do this. I don't know how. But if they were able to go totally ham here, where if there is actually some kind of restoration, you actually restore the city visually. And it could look different than how it looks now, but to actually have a version of this map, how they would do that, I don't know. I'm sure they could maybe do something instead with, like, we have this skybox back there, right? That's the, like, gnarly castle. Like, maybe they could do something where there was an instance zone beyond that, so just in the skybox you saw what was like a rebuilt city, but here around the outskirts there were still, you know, the fates and things that are going on. But honestly, I would do a whole alternative version of this map. I would love that. That'd be so cool. Even if it didn't have a bunch of fates and things, and then you could, like, use the Aetherites to go back to the old instanced version or something. I don't know. I just think it'd be cool. They've never done that before on that kind of scale in an open world map, so.
Welcome back. I presume this is the engineer who will help us with the craft?
I'll do everything I can to get her up and running again. But I doubt I'll be able to do so quickly, at least on my own. The mammoth is big and so are its parts. Some strong backs should make the work go faster. You have ours. Yeah, make Feature do some hard labor.
You finished learning about the mountain, I take it?
Aye.
We have a solid grasp of that area, as well as the site of the snowcraft. My back is perhaps not as strong as some, but I should be glad to stand guard for Voidsent and other unruly wildlife.
Much obliged, miss. Then let's all head over to the mammoth and assess what needs fixing. Poor Estinian again! Like, oh, Estinian. I played too many video games earlier. My arm's so sore. I can't help with it. Guess you're gonna have to just help fix it. Austinian, I just got a cup of soup to drink. I'm so hungry.
They have matters well in hand, which means we can resume our duties. Would you care to assist us, Arden?
Oh, I gotta go help Alphino and Alisae, so I can't help you lift heavy stuff to repair the mammoth. You got this, Austinian.
How about you, Zero?
They can never make her do that hat tilt enough. Never.
I will assist you as well, as payment for answering my question.
It's hardly something that demands payment, but we'd be glad for your contribution nonetheless. Oh, so cute. Oh, Alphino has been added to the Unending Codex. And Alisae! Okay, hold on. Now, hold on a second. I have not actually looked at this. Oh, a lot of things got added to the Unending Codex, huh? Where is it? Where did it go? I figured it would be in here. I haven't looked at it since they actually introduced it into the game. Anybody else? I don't know. I don't think it'd be social travel. Challenge log, equestrian fishing guides, duty. No, I mean, systems, would it? Duty support. Logs. I mean, I would assume it's in logs. Well, maybe we won't look at it, and I'll figure out where it is at some point, and then we'll go from there. It doesn't, like, show up if you go into something else, does it? Well, you know, I just look it up. How to see Unending Codex. Duty option. Collection. It's under duty option. Collection. I guess because you're collecting the entries. I cannot be the only person that had to look that up. I cannot be. Oh boy, I have not looked at this in so long. Oh geez. We'll just look at Alphino and Alisae for right now. Maybe just the very, very tail end of it. Father Fortuno. If now the final days of Alphino labors on behalf of those in need. Okay, it doesn't look like they added anything wild to this. Driven by her desire to stand shoulder to shoulder with the hero, she strives to better herself, that she may one day be accounted her equal. Okay, alright, well. I will have to revisit all of that lore at some point, but let's continue with the actual story. Maybe I'll just go through and, like, read through all of it at some point. Okay.
At first, I didn't know what to make of Zero, but her frankness speaks to me. I like her.
I like her too. Hold on, I talk to her now.
I can't say I understand Alisae's answer, but a debt is a debt. My thanks again for agreeing to help. The Ilsabard contingent brings in shipments of food, medicine, and other necessities by airship. We have yet to deliver a share of supplies to Tertium, and I would appreciate it if one of you could assist us with the task today.
I'll do it.
Well, Arden, it looks like you're with me then. Voidsent sightings have been increasing by the day, which is why I had a mind to go out and patrol the Eblan Rime. Shall we?
This is perfect though, because if we don't eat Zero at some point and she does end up being one of our shards, then we can be in multiple places at once making special bonding memories with people. Even though it's not really how it works and we wouldn't share our minds collectively, but I kind of feel like that. Like now we at least have somebody else that we can send out to help all of our little babies that we love. And they can help take care of the things because we can't be everywhere all at once just by ourselves, you know.
Voidsent was spotted here not long ago. Considering the proximity to Camp Broken Glass, everyone is understandably concerned. But hopefully not for much longer. You follow this road eastward, and I'll have a look to the north. If you should encounter any Voidsent, I won't begrudge you for dispatching them without me.
It's like a little competition again. Okay, it's just over this rise. Why do I have a feeling that perchance it might be over here? We'll help this friend out. Help somebody out if you see them, you know? Oh gosh. How many are we gonna get all at once now? It has been a hot second since I did my red mage again, so here we go. Thanks, friends, for sticking around to help. Oh no, oh no! This poor innocent boy is gonna get attacked. Okay, got that one. Whoa, okay, there's a lot of locations. And I'm getting a preview of the different enemies we might be fighting. Visitant Trapper. Bringing in some of those reskinned but new Voidsent models. Oh, nothing over here. Okay. We'll help this small friend. Oh, their glamour's so cute. Look at them. That's the new outfit that got released. Okay. We can take on two easy. These sad little spider boys. I guess this is the, like, spider boy version. The spider masculine version. Because we also have the spider feminine version from the 24 man. Oh, there's that beautiful... Oh my gosh, that mount is so good from P8S. Oh, I help out again. I don't know. I can't like not help if I see somebody just fighting something for a little like pop-up like that. Okay, no Voidsent there. Okay, that's all of them. Then we'll go ahead and meet back up with Alisae. Hopefully she's not in like too much of a pickle. She can handle it. She's all grown up now. She's all strong, all grown up and saving Garlemald.
All finished, are we? Good.
All done. You'd think she'd be used to the cold by now.
The cold doesn't let up out here, does it? They've the means to keep everyone warm at Camp Broken Glass and Tertium. But the measures are still only temporary.
It's true. I mean, this region has always been inhospitable. I don't think that changed because of the calamity, but it is interesting to think about what we know now, right? That with the primals and things like that, and or even that short story that we had where sorry, I'm like thinking 20 thoughts at once. I need to just sort it out and say one sentence. Where in that short story with Azem, right, where Azem goes to the island where a volcanic eruption was happening and uses essentially a summon or like a primal template to channel that fire ether into a primal like Phoenix. And was it the Phoenix one that I think they used? I think, no, well, maybe not. It might have been something else. But puts it into a different Ifrit. It was Ifrit. That's what it was. Because Phoenix was the special one that was made with a soul. Channel it into something like Ifrit, one of La Habrea's creations, I believe. And then they were able to like disperse the ether safely, which then made the region more stable. I wonder if something like that would be feasible up here for Garlemald. I mean, weather is weather and climate is climate, but perhaps one might say there could be a surplus of ice ether up here. I don't know.
Subsisting on charity. Dreading the day the sympathy of others is exhausted. It's no way to live. They need lasting safety and security. Though things will never be as they once were.
I mean, which is good. In a sense. Not
If
good for
we
the
can
loss of
restore
life.
a modicum of normalcy to their lives, maybe that will be enough for them to move forward. If we're to achieve that, we have to work harder. I have to work harder.
You are already given so much. You're doing your best. Anyone can see that.
Lest you misunderstand, I wasn't fishing for a compliment.
I'm gonna give it to you anyway.
As I said, I'm doing this because I want to.
I know, but you deserve to be acknowledged for your efforts. And you're lovely and sweet and wonderful and doing so good. I'm so proud of you.
Still, I appreciate your support.
I know you look up to us, so...
Well, our work here is done. We should be heading back. I hope Alphino and Zero haven't gotten into any trouble.
No, they're probably
I cannot
fine.
imagine
They're
how
probably
awful it must have been
fine.
to serve as Xenos' avatar. To not only suffer him, but so much else. She's a fighter, all right. Like you and me.
Yeah. Yes, she is. Yeah, she's good. She's good. She's a good bean. Can all tell. Meanwhile, at Tertia. How are things going over here? Okay? Fine? Good? 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 Handing out food and stuff. Learning about why people do good deeds and help those who need it.
Thank you, miss. Thank you. This feels strangely familiar.
Oh, does it now?
Excuse me, Alphino. My wife, she's come down with a high fever. Do you think you could take a look at her?
Look at
Of
him living
course.
his little
Give me
sage
a moment.
life. You do it, beautiful
Zero, may I
healer.
leave the rest here to you?
Fine by me.
Like, I don't want to say we saw that side shot there, but like, she kind of got the booty down.
Thank you again for your help.
Good, like a good small booty. I'm just like, we'll get back to the serious, heartfelt moment, but I'm just also saying, also important to note, because I noted, I'm just saying.
Zero, was it? I take it you're one of Alphino's comrades?
Comrade? We've entered into a cooperative pact, if that's what you mean.
Oh, Zero.
Pact? No, nothing so formal. What I mean is, you must know each other well. Be on good terms, enjoy each other's company, that sort of thing.
What is friend?
Then no, he's not my comrade. I have none. Nor will I ever, I think.
You will. You already do. You just don't know what it feels like yet.
Oh.
Did I say something odd?
It's interesting because for all that Garlemald lost, they did still have some sense of countrymen. I mean, obviously, a lot of things fell apart and there were a lot of divisions, right? But even serving in that regiment, Jullus, right? He lost his family, he lost many things, but there's still a sense of belonging to something, which I think just makes it even more tragic what's happened to the Voidsent, right? And to Zero as a figure, not even knowing that. And I guess fine, Xenos as well, if you want to extend that to Xenos. Although Xenos technically did still have those connections, but just may or may not have been able to connect with them, or chose not to, or, you know, whatever's going on over there. But with Zero and what happened to the 13th, it's very different, right? Like, they don't even have that. They don't even truly have a sense of culture, community, belonging, camaraderie, companionship, and suffering. All they have is fear, hunger, and suffering. Like, that's it. Power, I guess, which might be a sense of satisfaction, but not forever.
No, not at all. On the contrary, it makes sense. When Alphino and the contingent first arrived, we rejected them out of hand. Whatever they may have claimed, they were the enemy. Savages with their savage ways. To accept their help was to admit defeat.
Can I just say that I am a tiny bit sad, as we look at everybody here, I'm a tiny bit sad that they didn't do, of course I get why they couldn't, but a little sad that they didn't do at least Highlander models for the Garleans. Like, I always got the impression that the Garleans were, like, not northern giant folk, right? But that they have, like, the Alisae models. Even if they'd used, like, the Alisae models but given them all round ears, it's funny to me that they went for Midlander women and then seemed to do Alisae men. You know what I mean? I wish they had actually maybe just, like, stuck with that and made everybody big, beautiful, and powerful. But, sorry, back to the scene. I have a lot of thoughts in this one.
But no matter how poorly we treated them, they didn't turn their backs on us. They stayed and listened. That's just the kind of people they are. Makes sense they'd get along with someone like you who tries to push others away.
Gosh, Sheila's calling Zero out like this. Brutal.
Get along. I'm upholding my part of the bargain. There's nothing more to it than that.
If you say so.
Yul's like, yeah, okay, alright. Okay.
Ah, I'd nearly forgotten why I came. Are you hungry? We all get rations, and considering the work you're doing, you're as good as one of us.
Don't shrinkify it. Eat it with your mouth. Zero, eat it with your mouth.
Running low on ether. Very well.
This is sweet too, because like Jullus had his moment of rediscovering hope when he was with everyone, and he
Azim Step style dumplings.
Had the
BUUZ,
soup.
they call them.
BUUZ! Nice! So it's almost like he's
Never had a dumpling.
paying it forward.
It's like a kind of bread stuffed with a filling. Meat or vegetables usually, that you bake or steam. We have our own recipes in Garlemald too. My mother liked to make them.
Aww.
My brother and sister always fought over the jam-filled ones.
This is very silly, but I love dumplings. They are one of my top foods. One of the things I do love about them is that there are so many different around the world variations of a dumpling. And the fact, I actually really like this as a detail here, because I mean, he's handing her something that's from a very far off land, right? But the fact that they all have a sense of commonality, because even though the food comes from somewhere else, it still reminds them of home. It's still like something that they had their own variation on, and they had their own customs for, and their own culture and tradition around, as far as like culinary tradition goes. And I love that. Like, it's one of the things that I love about dumplings too, because I just think that all the different variations you can see with them around the world. In 1 week here, we had both chashu buns, and then also traditional pierogies, And it's like, again, similar, that kind of like dumpling or bun style food that has some kind of filling in it. But it's amazing to see how around the world, everybody's a little bit different, but like the spirit of them is the same. The type of food of them is the same. The type of food of them. Yeah, nailed it. And there's sweet ones and savory ones.
Just think of it as bread, all right?
Oh, I'm hungry. I hunger. See, I knew it. I knew she'd like hearty, simple, but delicious foods. I knew it. Eat that
I should warn you though, they're spicy. Helps them keep longer, I assume. Too much for the children to handle though.
And now you put it in your mouth and you eat it with your mouth. You got it. Yeah. That's right.
Interesting.
Dumplings are the best, Zero. Take another bite. See how you feel. Oh my gosh, they really went ham with these animations. The dumplings are disappearing in everything. They're straight up eating them.
Good or interesting?
Yeah, there you go. Oh, you can't stop at one bite.
I don't know much about taste. Not anymore. But I do feel a sensation in my mouth.
What did I say about pungent things? Spicy stuff, pungent things? I bet you. If it has like a really sharp flavor, Voidsent might be able to more readily taste it?
Is that a bad thing?
Not necessarily.
Jullus teaches the Voidsent how to eat
I've heard
BUUZ.
it said that spices are more akin to fire than flavors. Perhaps that makes them easier to understand.
I love that it's steaming too.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Getting
so hungry.
acquainted with Zero, are we?
I think food and media has done its job when it's made you as hungry as the scene kind of builds it out to be, right?
No harm in that. Acquaint away.
I'm sorry.
Everyone is here.
Just chewing on it.
Thank you all for your hard work.
What? That gave me so much life. That was direct serotonin into my body. That was so cute. I love it.
I've just finished up myself. Shall we go and find Estinian?
Also, Alisae.
I don't know exactly how to, he said it like boots, like B-U-T-Z. I don't actually know how to pronounce it exactly. I think I've always said it in my head as like BUUZ, but that makes sense. Traditional Mongolian food, I think, if I remember correctly. Obviously, with the Elysium Steps inspiration and everything with that, but I'd actually really like to try some.